No, okay.
Escort.
Oh, okay. Saw the white cap. All right. Don't worry, guys, we're getting close to a break time here. Okay, okay, we're gonna do one thing, very briefly, out of order, at the request of Jeff Perkins, who wanted to come up here for about a minute and say a couple of words. So, gentlemen, Jeff?
Don't trip over the cord.
Don't trip over the cord. We'll allow for 5 minutes.
Only 5?
Oh, 10.
No, I'll come over and take pictures and everything.
Thank you, Commander.
Years ago today.
I want to express my appreciation to the detachment commander, Alva, past detachment commander, Eddie Seegers, Tom Marista, for attending my daughter's wake. It meant a lot to see them show up. It shows the support from the SAL. We had several past state commanders show up also. It's been a tough time for me. I mean, I lost an older sister into November. My oldest brother died 4 days before my daughter passed away in December. She passed away on the 22nd. She had 4 kids, and the support, the cards, the text messages, all the phone calls of condolences. I wanted everybody here to know that they were all appreciated. It's still tough to deal with, but it's nice knowing that I got my friends out there that want to check in on me and take the time to ask me if I'm doing good. I just wanted to express my thank you for all that. Thank you.
NEC Kingston, you, the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Do
Can I
you
help you?
have, do you have any special introductions that you need to make?
Probably about 10:30, 11, the auxiliary's gonna come over and get Bill and I. Do you want us to go ahead and,
Yeah,
let
come,
me go ahead and introduce
yeah,
Bill
come on
now?
up now.
Let's do it.
Sergeant at Arms.
He's already on his way.
Okay.
He's hustling.
Hey, Sergeant at Arms, we're gonna be up here for just a few minutes, so if anybody shows up at the door, invite them to come in and let them know that they're welcome to the podium after.
One junior can do that.
Yeah, just tell him to go
Let-
out and
let
smoke
him
a
know.
cigarette or two,
Yeah.
and we'll be out there soon.
Okay.
Thank you, Connor. Good morning, everybody. Morning. It's good seeing you all here. I'm telling you, this room keeps growing more and more all the time. So let's keep up the good work and bring more people in. Maybe we'll get a bigger room someday. And at this time, I like to go ahead and do an introduction for Bill Clancy. Bill is a native of City Island, the Bronx, New York City. He's been a member of the American Legion family since birth, and his father and grandfather were past commanders of Post 156, and his mother and grandmother members of Unit 156, which his mother, Mary Ann, was a past unit president. Bill's grandfather was a carpenter's mate in the U.S. Navy aboard YMS 1 class minesweeper, which he helped built at Nivens Shipyard in City Island. His ship cleared mines off the coast of Normandy and in the Mediterranean. Bill's dad was an Army airborne combat engineer from 1961 to 63, with service at 4th Benning, West Point, France, and Fort Lewis. Bill's a graduate of Boy State, as well as the Legion Auxiliary Freedoms Foundation program in the Valley Forge, PA. He's a 33-year founding member and first adjutant of Squadron 156, which is at 196 members, the largest squadron in Lower New York. He has served in almost every squadron role, including 4 terms squadron commander. He served 3 terms as detachment vice commander, ran New York Visitation Gauntlet as detachment commander in 2018. He was a member of the National CNY Committee for 2 years and became committee chairman. He moved to chairmanship of the National Internal Affairs Commission for 2 years, in which time he helped move commission beyond its traditional role in leading innovation and process improvements in many aspects of the organization. He's a member of the National CNY Committee for 2 years and became the National Committee Chairman, moved to Chairman, so will repeat itself. Chairman of the National Internal Affairs Commission for 2 years, in which he helped move that commission beyond its traditional role and led innovation and process improvement in many aspects. Bill's a graduate of Ona College with a degree in finance at Columbia University with a degree in management. He worked 10 years as business development executive at American Express before leaving to start Urban Upkeep, New York City property management firm that employs more than 40 people. Bill is a member of the U.S. Eagle Scouts Association, a recipient of the U.S. Congress Silver Medal for community service. He sat on the advisory board of Einstein Hospital in the Bronx for 5 years and is a president of the board of trustees in Pelham Cemetery. He resides on City Island with his wife, Kirstel, and 2 sons, Gear and Steen, both active members of Squadron 156. Gear and Steen were also active scouts and Little Leaguers and sailors. Christine Surgeon Clancy hails from northern New York State, a family that goes back to the American Revolution. She's a former competitive speed skater and triathlete, a former fashion industry exec with a master's from NYC Fashion Institute of Technology and small business owner. She's a super engaged mom, community volunteer, and makes her daily mission to remind her husband, Bill, that he is not too smart. And owes the success to her support. He always, of course, agrees.
Agreed.
At this time, let's welcome our leading candidate for National Commander, Bill Clancy.
Thank you, Pat. Hey, Pat. Thank you. Detachment of Texas, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. John, thank you for that intro. I had given him full permission to just say, hey, this is Bill from the Bronx. He's got a few words to say, so thanks for reading that. A few thoughts before I get into what I really wanted to say, just from this morning so far. I'm from New York. We're not a small detachment, but the roll call here this morning, man, you guys are big. The breadth of Texas is incredible. The second thing, I'm so excited to meet 2 young sergeant-at-arms, and this gentleman here credentialed me, which I give you great credit for, and I'm glad I had my card and I didn't have to get thrown out. So thank you. I appreciate that very much. It's great to see young guys involved in a real way, not just sitting in the back being waved at. I have 2 sons who are very engaged guys. Their ages 10 and 13, and they were wanting to come down here, but it really wasn't in the cards. We had some sports commitments in school. But my younger guy, who's 10, he asked me just before I left, he said, is there going to be a mechanical bull at that midwinter conference? And I said, well, I don't know, but there's a guy there named Kevin Winkleman. I don't know what he has in store for me, so it could happen. But no bull so far. But if you produce one, Kevin, I'll ride it. So, anyway, I want to share a little bit about what brought me here, and then a little bit about what's going to bring us to the future. And I say us, meaning the Sons as a body across the United States. I grew up in an American Legion family. We formed our squadron in 1989 and I was asked to be the first adjutant, which was an honor. I did so, and then went on from adjutant to a vice commander of activities, and then membership, and then did a term as commander, which was very fulfilling, and we were very effective. Our squadron grew from 10 or 12 guys, actually 10 originally, the charter members, to almost 100 members in about a 4-year period. And then I stepped away for a bit. I pursued my career, doing work. I had a career in the world of business, various business jobs. And I highlight that because we're an organization that aims to get young guys in the door. And it's very important that when we deal with young guys, they have a lot of other things going on. They have young families, they're trying to buy homes, get promoted, get some overtime, what it be what it may. And we have to always keep cognizant of that back at the squadron, that you can't put guys in a position where they have to choose between, am I a good SAL member, or am I a good family person, or am I fulfilling my job? There's always a middle way to be effective at all. So you have to keep that top of mind. So I did step away for a bit, and then years went by, and something very exciting happened in my family. Actually, two exciting things happened at the same time. My dad had risen up through the ranks, and he became the leading candidate for the Department of New York for commander. That was very exciting. I'm his oldest son. He was very pro Sons of the American Legion. He was a dual member, and he asked me to co-chair his campaign, which was kind of earth-shaking in New York, to have an SAL member co-chairing a campaign for department commander. And I was proud to do that in that role. And at the same time, while he was running, my wife and I had our first baby, which, everyone's had a baby, that's just a life-changing moment. When you hold that guy for the first time, and you see his eyes looking in yours, and it's just good. Things were moving along great. My squadron had an event. We put up flags for 4th of July weekend all around our main street. And then my dad had volunteered after the weekend to help the squadron take the flags down. And he had a heart attack on the ladder and passed. His speech was still being worked on. It was in his pocket. So we laid my dad to rest. Obviously a moving moment in my life. I had this new baby. Thoughts started to float through my head of, what kind of world will this boy grow up in? Will he grow up in a world with a devotion to mutual helpfulness by his fellow citizens? Will kids of his generation still believe in our Constitution to uphold and defend it? Will they maintain law and order, or will we delve into chaos? And it was with that point in my life that I said, I'm a part of an organization that can impact the future. It's time for me to get going. So I put my hat in the ring for detachment vice commander. Similar to here, you cover a region of the state. 15 years later, approximately, here I am, speaking to the great detachment of Texas, which hopefully, a year from now I'll be back as your commander. Here's where we are. A gentleman in the back, before we got going, I think he's your judge advocate, asked me if I was ready. Was that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
You said, are you ready for it? And I said, my motivation is that I believe unbelievably convincingly that this organization has the ability to impact the future of the country in an extremely positive way. I've seen it at the local level, seen it across detachments, and I've seen it at national. We're about to hit 400,000 members. Think about that number. Think about it, 400,000 men if you were to line them up. It's bigger than most armies in the world. We just passed $10 million raised for the CWF. We're growing on every measure that there is. But it's my belief that we could accelerate that growth tenfold. And to do so, I think we have to focus on three main things. One of which was touched upon by the National Vice Commander. One, I believe we need to engage the public more. We need to look around our towns and our cities and say, what's going on and how can we help in a way that increases our exposure? Maybe you got your local Little League needs a new clubhouse. Maybe the squadron can chip in or lend a helping hand. Maybe it's local school needs a hand with teaching some kids about history. You can lend a helping hand. Maybe it's something I'll never even know about because it's unique to your town or county, what have you. Get your squadron, get your district, get your detachment engaged in things that will both get us exposure, bring in new members, and do more. Second, the press. I met a gentleman yesterday who's a member of the press. Is he here?
Right here.
Oh, right here. Oh my God, you're filming me. Wonderful. You have a guy who's your public relations, media and communication historian, who's a member of the press himself. We need hundreds of members of the press. We need you to have a member of the press in every squadron. So be like an octopus when you meet people in the press. Find out if they're eligible. Make sure they're invited to all of your events. Make sure they know what you're about. I said octopus, just use all arms you can get on them. Put it on. Don't overwhelm them and scare them away. But get them involved and get them to help you spread our message. And three, but 1, 2, and 3. Most important, when you get new members in the door, get them inactive. Get them active in a fun way. Everybody has to have fun. We're a fraternal organization. We're all friends and brothers. We may not all get along, but we're all in it for the same reasons. Get them involved and make sure they're having fun. And if people are involved in having fun, retention is through the roof. Everyone stays when they're there. That's my advice for you. That's my message. Together, community, state, and nation, we can inspire every American to live their obligation. And if we do so, it'll be a better future for us all.
Amen to that.
Before I close, I want to talk about my friend, my brother, Tom Skelly. There's a lot of amazing people in our organization, but I'd say if there's one guy I can think of who has personally impacted our membership increase, Tom could be that guy. He was an amazing membership chairman. He's an amazing fellow, just as a friend, but he did such an amazing job in that role. He's to be commended for it. I myself, I'm in the same boat, just a year ahead of him. You're raising all this money. People kind of look at you like, hey, you're not starving. You know, what do you need all the money for? The money goes for travel. 99% of it's for travel. You look at an airfare today to get anywhere. You look at parking. You look at tolls, etc. It burns away faster than you can imagine. So that's what most of the money's for. And additionally, if you can have an opportunity to come out to Indianapolis anytime this spring or next year for the 2 NEC meetings, we'll be holding an event, which is a hospitality event, and we moved it to a museum. So we're having a social event, a party if you would, in a war museum, which is absolutely spectacular. Texas put on a killer good event last fall, along with New York. They'll be doing it again this year, and then I'll be out, and Texas will be leading the way with Mr. Skelly at the head for 2 more years. So support Tom all you can. I bought one of his shirts. I got to get a picture of me wearing his shirt. I'll send that to him. I think he's in Georgia this weekend. He's doing just what I'm doing. He's visiting another meeting in the detachment of Georgia. So you're blessed to have him. You should be honored. Support him all you can. He'll appreciate it. Having said that, God bless the detachment of Texas. God bless all of you and your families. God bless the American Legion family. And most importantly, God bless the United States of America. Thank you for your time, guys. Oh, question. Sure, I'm sorry. Question?
A question?
Did somebody have a question?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that your son and you were kind of interested in the riding the bull. We're going to be doing some fundraising next year's state convention for child
Sure,
welfare,
please.
and we can find a way to get a bull there.
I'll start to stretch. Maybe I'll find a good local, I'll find a good local chiropractor and have a tune-up before I go on, but I'll take the
There
challenge.
are a couple of bars
Thank
in
you.
this town that have a bull.
All right, I knew
they
it.
are.
No. My boys seem to think I was going to a rodeo this weekend. I mean, they have active imagination. It's good. I encourage it. But you'll meet them at some point during the next year.
Bill, please.
Yes, sir. Hey.
If you could stay up here for about another 6 or 7 minutes, I got a
Sure.
presentation for you,
Okay,
right
sure.
over here. Before I get into it, let me tell you a couple of cool things about Texas.
Okay.
Wrote them down for you.
All right.
Have a seat, yes, please.
Yeah.
The word Texas means friendly. We are the friendliest state in the union, and we love ourselves more than anyone else. We don't measure distance in miles here, we measure distance in hours and days. As I drive around Texas in my official capacity, I keep saying, I should have picked Rhode Island. For 10 years, Texas was its own country, known as the Republic of Texas, and we still think we are our own country. 6 different national flags have flown over Texas: Spain, France, Mexico, the Republic of Texas, the Confederate States of America, and the United States. Texas has everything the rest of the country has. We have a 367-mile coastline, desert and mountains in the west, forest in the east, and we border 2 foreign countries, Mexico and the United States. There are 3 power grids in the U.S., one for the entire eastern half, one for the entire western half, and one solely for Texas. Yes, yes. Now, 3 of the largest cities in Texas are Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio, or in the U.S., are Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. General Sam Houston served as a U.S. Senator, 2-time President of the Republic of Texas, and Governor of Tennessee and Texas, the only person to ever serve governor of 2 different states. And I will bet that he never in his wildest dreams imagined that his name would be the very first word spoken from the surface of the moon. San Antonio is home of the Alamo, the cradle of Texas liberty, and it's home to the world-famous Riverwalk. These are the 2 top tourist attractions in the state. The San Antonio River bubbles out of the ground on the campus of the University of the Incarnate Word just north of downtown and winds its way south to the Gulf of Mexico. It's a small river, but without that little river, there would have been no San Antonio, and without San Antonio, there would have been no Texas, and without Texas, the whole history of the world would be different. Now, you can increase the price of any item by 70% simply by adding the words Texas edition to it. And anything can be and is molded into the shape of Texas, and people will buy it. If you move to Texas and get a driver's license, you are a naturalized Texan. That is the 2nd greatest honor in the world. The greatest is to be born here. American by luck, Texan by the grace of God. The Buc-ee's convenience store gas station in Luling is now the world's largest. When Tennessee dared to build a bigger one than the one in New Braunfels, which was the biggest at the time, Buc-ee's tore down the original Luling store and built a much bigger one on the same site. We take the word bigger very seriously around here. The Texas Capitol, which you saw last night,
Which is beautiful.
yes, is the largest Capitol building in the country. It's taller than the one in DC, and the Lone Star flag flying over it is a beautiful sight. The Texas flag is probably the most easily recognizable state flag in the world. Elementary school children recite a pledge to it. The pledge to the flag is, honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible. We know that we take state pride to the extreme, and it would be wonderful if Americans loved America as much as Texans love Texas. Now, I could go on bragging about how great Texas is, but we would be here for about another 10 or 12 days.
Okay.
So this is part 1 of a gift that I would like to make to you, and this is the Texas flag, which you can proudly display on a flagpole in your front yard in the Bronx.
I will.
And everybody,
I will. I'll get a lot of conversation out of this.
and everybody will know where that came from, or what that is.
I have a flagpole in my front yard, which is a mast from a boat. It's pretty cool. And has spreaders about 2/3 of the way up. So this will have a proud place there.
Let me, isn't this pretty?
Beautiful.
Yes, from the House of Representatives here in Texas. It's a resolution, let me read it to you, and then we can, the state of Texas, resolution. Whereas Bill Clancy has been named leading candidate for Commander of the Sons of the American Legion for 2025-2026, and whereas established in 1932 as an affiliate of the American Legion, the Sons of the American Legion works to preserve American traditions and values, improve the quality of life for future generations, care for veterans and their families, and teach the fundamentals of good citizenship. And whereas the son of a U.S. Army veteran and the grandson of a U.S. Navy veteran, Bill Clancy has been involved in the Sons of the American Legion for more than 3 decades, and he is a member of Squadron 156 at the Leonard H. Hawkins American Legion Post in Bronx, New York. He has held a number of leadership positions with the organization. including squadron commander, adjutant, vice commander, and he has chaired the National Children and Youth Committee as well as the Internal Affairs Commission. In addition, he is a graduate of Boys State and the American Legion Auxiliary Freedoms Foundation program. And whereas Mr. Clancy has further distinguished himself as a member of the National Eagle Scout Association, active in his community, he has served on the advisory board of the Einstein Hospital and as president of the Pelham Cemetery Board of Trustees. Among his many achievements, he received a U.S. Congressional Silver Medal for voluntary public service, and he holds degrees in finance and management from Iona College and Columbia University. In all his endeavors, he enjoys the love and support of his wife, Kirstal, and he takes great pride in their sons, Gear and Sten. And whereas, in taking on this new challenge, Bill Clancy has demonstrated a profound commitment to the important mission of the Sons of the American Legion, and he will undoubtedly be a strong and dynamic leader for the organization. Now, therefore, it be it resolved that Bill Clancy be congratulated on his selection as leading candidate for National Commander of the Sons of the American Legion, and that he be extended sincere best wishes for a successful tenure. Signed, Ray Lopez, State Representative, District 125.
Wow.
And you
That's
can,
unbelievable.
and you can take it on the plane with you.
I could,
Yeah.
yes, I could.
So,
Well, I'll share this very briefly. Texas, if you don't know it, you are such a unique state within our union. And the spirit that all Texans have is incredible. It's contagious. I love it. My first trip to Texas was in 1987. I was in a marching band, a college marching band, and we were invited to San Antonio for a parade. It was the St. Patrick's Day parade where they pulled the participants on little boats through the river and they dyed the river green, which is just incredible. But funny from that weekend was that I was the drum major of the band, and I was invited up on stage with a number of people, one of whom was like the belle of the ball for the weekend, and she was a girl whose father was Henry Cisneros. He was, I think, the mayor at the time. Yeah. And she and I were up on stage with a few other people, and they were serving some food, and they served tamales. And I had never had a tamale, but, you know, I'm game for anything. And I'm chewing on this tamale, thinking to myself, this is absolutely terrible. Not saying that, of course, when somebody then says, he's eating the husk. That guy's eating the husk. I was just throwing down the tamale. It was pretty funny.
that's called pulling a Gerald Ford.
I've heard that. Thank you for this. This will be on my wall in my study. This will fly in my home. Thank you.
What's that, group shot? Group shot?
Oh, okay.
Right? Get there, get. All right.
Okay, since he's up here right now, we're gonna let him give his NEC report. There you go.